I never thought a wooden fence could destroy my peace. But that night when the police car lights flashed across my yard and Karen screamed, "That's HOA property," I realized this wasn't just about a fence, it was about control. And I had just stepped across the invisible line that kept everyone else quiet. When I moved to Maplewood Estates, I thought I'd found my forever home. Quiet streets, trimmed lawns, smiling neighbors. The kind of suburban dream you see in real estate ads. I'm Daniel Davis, 36, software engineer, single, just trying to enjoy some peace after years of chaos. The house was perfect, especially because it sat right outside the HOA boundary. Or so I thought. The first weekend I started building my fence, it felt almost therapeutic. Hammer-in rhythm cedar wood shining under the Texas sun. Then came the sound that would haunt me for months, heels clicking on concrete getting louder. Karen Reynolds, head of the HOA, appeared like a storm cloud in pearls, clipboard in hand, eyes sharp enough to cut glass. "Excuse me," she said, voice dripping authority, "you can't build that there." I wiped sweat from my forehead. "Pretty sure I can. It's my property." Her lips tightened. "That's community land. You'll be hearing from us." She spun on her heels, and I actually laughed, thinking, okay, just another nosy neighbor. 10 minutes later, a police cruiser pulled up to my driveway. Karen was standing next to it, arms crossed, looking victorious. "Officer, that's him. He's building illegally on HOA property." The officer, a middle-aged guy named Daniels, asked for my deed. I brought it out, pointed to the survey line, the coordinates, everything. He double-checked on his tablet, nodded, then looked at her. "Ma'am, this lot's fully private. The HOA doesn't have jurisdiction here." Karen's face went red. She opened her mouth, then closed it again like her jaw had locked. Daniels handed me back the paper. "You're good, sir." I smiled politely. "Told you." As they left, Karen leaned in, whispering through clenched teeth, "You'll regret this." I should have listened. The next morning there was a paper stapled to my fence violation notice. Unauthorized structure. Fine $250. HOA letterhead. I laughed and ripped it off. That night another email went out to the whole community. "One homeowner is threatening the harmony of Maplewood." I didn't have to guess who they meant. Suddenly neighbors stopped waving. A couple crossed the street when walking their dog. I was invisible, or worse, the villain. Things escalated fast. Orange paint marks appeared on the grass survey lines that weren't there before. I found out later Karen had called a private inspector pretending to represent the city. She wanted to prove part of my fence crossed the boundary. Then came the night I heard the crash. Wood splintering, dog barking, someone running. I rushed out with a flashlight and saw at 3 panels of my fence smashed. Muddy footprints size small leading back toward Karen's side. I called Officer Daniels. He looked tired when he arrived. "I can't prove it's her," he said, "but you should install cameras." I did. 3 of them. And 2 nights later, the motion alert buzzed on my phone. 2:46 a.m. I opened the feed. There she was, Karen, wearing gloves, crouched by my fence, cutting through a section with garden shears. I froze, watching her mutter something I couldn't hear. When Daniel saw the footage, he sighed. "All right, I'll handle it." But handling it didn't stop her. The HOA called an emergency meeting. I decided to go. The moment I walked in, all eyes turned. On the projector screen, my house, my fence, big red letters across the image, devaluing the community. Karen stood at the front, smiling like a queen addressing her court. This, she said, is what happens when one man refuses to follow the rules. I raised my hand. "Except I'm not even part of the HOA. You forged my signature on the membership form." Gasps. Her face twitched. I pulled out the document signed Daniel Davids, not Davis, and the county record proving my exemption. Then I played the video. Karen in the dark, cutting my fence. The room went silent except for the hum of the projector. Finally, the door opened and Officer Daniels walked in. He read aloud the restraining order. "Mrs. Reynolds, you are prohibited from approaching or contacting Mr. Davis or his property." She stared at me, fury burning behind her eyes, and hissed, "You think this makes you safe?" For a while I believed it did. Weeks passed. No notes, no fines. The neighborhood seemed normal again. I started sleeping through the night, but one morning I stepped outside to find my yard flooded ankle-deep water soaking the grass. The pipe from the HOA sprinkler system had been cut clean through, and right beside it, half buried in mud, was a single gardening glove, pink with floral print, Karen's style. I called Daniels. His voice was heavy this time. "She's violated the order. That's property damage. We'll press charges." By the weekend, Karen Reynolds was arrested. They said she had a breakdown during questioning. A week later, she was transferred to a psychiatric facility outside Dallas. I should have felt relief, but when I passed the HOA office, the blinds were drawn, and inside I could see another silhouette, shorter, younger, but eerily similar. A few days later, I received a letter. "Dear resident, effective immediately, I, Emily Reynolds, will serve as interim president of Maplewood Estates, HOA. My mother's dedication to community values will continue through me." I just stared at the letter and laughed quietly, bitterly. Emily came to my house a few days later, dressed in a neat blazer, voice calm but cold. My mother was misunderstood, she said. She only wanted order. I leaned on the fence, the same fence her mother tried to destroy. Order or obedience? She smiled. "I'll be watching Mr. Davis, for everyone's safety." The war had started again, only this time with a new face. That night my dog Bruno started barking. When I stepped outside, the smell of spray paint hit me before I saw it, letters dripping across the cedar boards. "She was right about you." I sat on the porch steps, staring at the words, feeling that familiar exhaustion crawl up my spine. I wanted to give up, to pack my things and leave Maplewood behind. Every part of me whispered, "It's not worth it." But then I saw the floodlight flicker against the fence, the one I'd built with my own hands, the thing they'd tried to take from me. I remembered the hours spent sanding ceilings, sweating in the sun. I remembered why I built it in the first place, to protect my peace. And I thought, if I run now, I'll never have peace again. So I didn't. When Emily showed up a week later holding a small urn, I knew what it was before she said it. She wanted to stay close to her home, she murmured. "To you." She walked to the edge of my fence, dug a shallow hole, and placed the urn down gently. I wanted to scream, to call the cops, but I didn't. I just watched her pat the dirt and whisper, "Now she'll always be here." When she left, I stood there for a long time. Then I took a spade, dug the hole again, and buried the urn deeper under the oak tree far from the fence line. "Rest now," I said quietly. "You've done enough damage." The HOA backed off after that. Maybe they were scared. Maybe Emily realized how far this madness had gone. The emails stopped. The fines vanished. Maplewood became quiet again, too quiet. These days I walk Bruno past the same fence every evening. The cedar's weathered now, a little gray, but still strong. Sometimes when the wind moves through the boards, I swear I hear a faint tapping, like a clipboard against wood. Maybe it's just the wind, maybe not. Either way, I've learned something. In neighborhoods like this, peace isn't given, it's defended.